Hello everyone, welcome to Gardening with Brother Nature. So, it's nice out, it's beautiful, so now you're starting to get inside your gardens. So one thing you should think about when your gardens is your watering. How are you going to water? Are you going to use tap water? Are you going to use rainwater? Maybe you want to spoil your plants and use distilled water. How are you going to do it? So one of the things I do for my urban agriculture, for my gardening, is I do clay pot irrigation. So clay pot irrigation is an ancient watering system that's been used for thousands of years within the Americas, within First Nations in Canada and Native Americans in the United States, and in South America as well. Clay pot has always been used, either cooking with it, baking with it, or even eating it. Clay has been around, but clay pot irrigation is an amazing ways to use up your clay and to irrigate your fields and to do, what else can you do? Do proper watering, deep root watering, okay? Other clay pots that are used around the world are from North Africa, where they're called oyes, where they make these huge clay pots that they put straight inside the ground. Great technique. I don't have that much clay, so I do a version that my grandfather taught me. I remember talking to him when we were younger, and he talked about how they had to use clay inside the ground to help water the plants, and then eventually do terracotta pots. So today I'm going to show you the terracotta pot system, and I'm going to build one with you. All right, so I'm going to put you guys down so you guys actually see what I'm doing. All right, how's that? Falling over? Don't fall over. Stay there. Stay with me. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? Awesome. Okay, so terracotta pots. What you're going to do is find unglazed terracotta. The reason why it's unglazed, because that means that the terracotta is permeable, which means the water that gets trapped inside here can slowly leach out inside the soil, or into the soil. Do not get glazed, because the glaze will keep the water inside the pots and it will not leach inside the soil, and then you get ranted water, and you do not want that. So what I do, find my two terracotta pots, right? They both have holes in them. See the holes? You got to choose one to be the one that's going to be underneath the ground, and the one that's going to be showing on top of the ground. All right. So this one right here is going to be the one growing underneath the ground. I mean, not growing, but underneath the ground, because terracotta pots don't grow. All right. So what I do is I find a rock, little pebble rock, and what I'm going to do is take my glue. I'm using some Weld Bond glue today. What I'm going to do is inside here, see that hole? I'm going to paint it all with this glue, all over the place, everywhere. You can use Gorilla Glue if you want to. Maybe you want to go old-fashioned and use some sort of tar, add some more glue down there. All right, nice and coated, you see that? All right, put my glue stick down, take my pebble. What I'm going to do is put it over top of the hole. Slide it in there. If your fingers get dirty, your fingers get dirty. It's all about the process, right? All right, so look at that. The hole is now blocked. If you want to, you can actually use cork as well. I have some with cork on them. I'll show you one with cork. Cork is great as well. Leftover wine bottles, you have cork in it. Reuse, right? So now what I'm going to do, take some more glue. Now the bottom's secure, I'll put glue around the rim. Once again, trusty glue. I'm going to dab it and put a lot around that rim to hopefully form some sort of seal. Take my next one, place it right on top like this, so it just sits there. So what I'm going to do now is take my glue and wipe it around the sides so it gets inside those crevices. Can you guys see that? See that? All around the crevices. All right, so my glue down, put this back on and let it sit for a good 2 hours. It will dry nice and clear. I'll show you ones that are already done. You've already seen them though. This one's done with the Weld Bond glue. So clear that is. See how clear that is? Clear, clear, clear. But that's the top, that's the bottom. All right. So now you have the bigger ones. Da, da, da. Big ones like that. Big ones like that. Look at that. So when you're putting this inside the ground, the top part that has the hole open goes above ground. The one that's covered goes to the bottom. So what I'm going to show you is ones that I actually have outside inside the container gardens, inside the beds. So we'll take a quick trip outside so you can actually see what I'm talking about. All right. Gorgeous day out here. Absolute gorgeous day. So what you'll see is, you see the ones there? So here's one right here, it's already inside the ground. This one right here. So you see what I do? I keep the top part out so I can actually see exactly where it's at so I can water. What's going to happen is when you water inside of here, the water is going to leach out to maybe about 5 inches around the terracotta pot. That's all going to be nice and damp. So when you have your plants around here, all their roots are going to start going towards the pot. So this method right here, I water every 4 days. I fill it up with water every 4 days. You can put your fertilizer, your liquid fertilizers inside there. Your plants will love it because the water is going directly to the roots and not on the leaves. When you are done watering though, make sure on top you put some sort of rock or something to keep the water inside. If you don't, the sun hits this, it's going to evaporate, and you'll have no more water. So my friends, this is Gardening with Brother Nature, showing you guys how to do clay pot irrigation. So it's beautiful outside. Get out there, get growing. And like I always say, be nature. See you next week.